Hey, what's up? This is King of Catan, episode 5. I'm joined by DylLighted today. My name is Treeckosaurus, and we have a
And
good match for you. Welcome, DylLighted. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, this is the board we're about to see is it's a very interesting board, and it's a high ore board with lots of wheat.
Yeah, and what I notice immediately about this is that the sheep is quite rare on this. Like, you have a 5, a 12, a 3, and a 2.
Hmm.
So that makes the spot at the top where you have great ore and pretty decent wheat ore as well. Uh, Makes the 5 sheep really, really strong, in my opinion.
Hmm. So you snap to the 854, but also when I was looking at this board, the three spots I was considering was 5, 8, 10, 854, and 369. Those are the three spots I was considering. But since you recognize also that the sheep's going to be really rare on this board.
Yeah, I also thought about the 1095. I don't know if you mentioned that. Slightly next to the 854.
I thought about that, but I just thought the ore is too low. When there's when there's two high ore spots, the 8 and the 5, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think you can concede and go in the 10 ore. I don't think that's not good enough. I
Okay.
was actually thinking I might have done the 5 8 10 and play with the confidence that someone else takes the 6 5 11, and because someone else takes the 6 5 11, that's going to open up the 9 6 12, and that's also going to open up the 6 3 11. Since it doesn't make sense for anyone to take the 6 12 11, and because there's those wheat spots, I was thinking that if I took the 5 8 10, then I could play with the confidence of getting one on the triple shared wheat, or at least one of the wheat spots. And even if that fails, I can still go with the confidence of 4 9 11. And another thought of like if you go in 854, it does open up another orbit sheep spot on the 9 5 10. So that's what. So I think I might have actually chosen the 5 8 10 and just gone to the 3 1 port, which is different but interesting.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I figured, like,
I mean, but like, I mean, it's of course like 854 is still like a killer pick. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
you it's just all orbit sheep. Like I don't
yeah.
blame you for picking it.
Uh-huh.
It's amazing. And in this game, 4 hits a lot. So
Yeah. A reason for me to actually to have picked the 1085 was to block the 9510. But so I
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
actually,
yeah.
uh, I thought that would have been a pick for sure. I can see your reasoning for not picking it, because of the low ore, and I've actually find that interesting. I haven't really looked at uh, like the lowest points of ore. Is that so much worse than the best points of ore? Like, I can see how uh, the strongest resource of the strongest number on the rarest resource is really important. That's why I value this 5. Like, it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
was for me a guaranteed pick at the 5 for sure.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
So I find that really interesting. The reasoning for me
Or it could,
to
uh-huh, uh-huh.
get this wheat in is because I expected these nines to be blocked, and like the best wheat I would got is the 1149, or the, yeah, I expected the 1149, or maybe the 6311. But I kind of had bad hopes of getting the 6311.
Well, so I was just thinking that if I went on the 5 8 10, then then I think there's a good chance that like 5 6 elevens are going to be taken since that's the next highest wheat sheep. And if someone takes a 5 6 11, it like what are the other two spots by the wheat? If for them to lock the wheat, it's 6 12 11. But it doesn't make sense to take the 6 12 11 if you can take the 6 9 12. And because of that, there's going to be also 6 3 11. So by looking at that, I think that there's just a lot of I guess wheat options, and I think there's just a lot of wheat options, and it makes you hard to block. Like if you block the 8, you still have the 10. If you block the like 5 sheep, it's 5 sheep. It's fine, and I think there's a good chance you can get on the triple shared wheat or just a 4 wheat. Like whenever before I place, I start looking at like where like the guaranteed spots. So in my opinion, that was 369, 5 8 10. Then I saw then there's a decision between 5 6 9 or 9 5 10, and then a few other spots here and there. So, but yeah, I think 854 is for sure not bad. It's for sure not bad at all. So
What do
another thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, what do you think about this road pointing? Like, I'm trying to
No,
get,
it's perfect. It's
yeah,
perfect. I think it doesn't make sense to point inwards since because somebody can take 5 6 9 8 10. I thought the road is fine, and that's your 3 1 port. It's a fine red.
Yeah.
I think the now the hard decision for me was, what do I take? Do I take 369? Do I take 569? And I decided to take the 569. I guess so. On my 965 decision, so I was, it was either stuck between 9510, 569, and 369. I don't think 9510 is good enough. It's just when there's two other high ores, I just think that the 10 ore is just not good enough to compete with everyone else. And I need to win the dev card game, or I need to do something. And I think taking a 569 is it's sort of risky, because if you look at the situation, if I'm taking the 569, I'm hoping that I'll get on the 810, or I'm hoping that I'll get somewhere else. And I took a pretty big risk by going 569, playing with the confidence I can get the 810, since someone else can take the 810 and then get on the 6311, which is also like not a bad option. But I was thinking that even if that happens, then I can do 1092 and then go to the 662 instead. The 1092 free red to 62, since someone's gonna be taking the 369. Does that make sense at all?
Yes, it does. The thing I was kind of puzzled on, I don't think the 693 is that strong at the sport, especially because I think sheep is super rare. Like, you can get a wheat, especially as a second pick, and you also have these boards around you, so maybe it's not that bad as I think.
Yeah. I do like 693. Like I heavily liked it because I thought, like, it's fine if there's low sheep. There's wood, and because there's a wood and then the wood port, and you can double up on the 6 and then convert all the wood to the sheeps. So that's what I really liked about the 369. Yeah, I think it was really interesting about if since the entire board changes if you take 9510 or 569, the entire board state changes for the other two players. So I wasn't sure I could, like, if I go with 369, I wasn't sure how things were going to end up, but I could play a lot more confidently with the 569.
Yeah, and it opens up a lot of options. If you go for the 693, especially as a third pick, you can guarantee way more that you get a really good spot out of it. Like, you gotta assume that the fourth player takes the 8, 10, 5 for sure. But what else is he going to do, and what spots are then open?
Yeah. I think the 569 might have been a mistake, since if I was third player right here, I'd actually take the 6-3-11. It's really weird taking the 6-3-11, but there's just two ore spots. There's 8-10 and there's 3-6-9. And just looking at it, it's just like, you lock. Well, not that necessarily you lock, but if you take 6-3-11, there's just two good ore spots. And then, like you said, fourth player almost has to take 5-8-10, and I think they also should be taking the 3-6-9. 3-6-9, and then they can just try to get in the 4 wheat as fast as possible. Okay. And then they should just play for a road game. That's what I saw. But I think the issue with taking the 5-6-9 is I'm way too reliant on the 8-10, and that I have 3 settlement spots. At least what I saw was my 3 settlement spots being 9-12, or potentially the 3-1 port on the 8 ore, but I thought that was unlikely. Or there's a chance that no one takes the 9-10. So that's what I thought, at least. But I was being very, very reliant on getting the 8-10 or one of the strong ores by taking the 5-6-9. So I thought it was really risky, but you see how it plays out. I think I got really lucky.
Okay, let's have a look at what Djinn plays Catan is going to decide here. So we're playing. So yeah, it's basically me playing as purple, DylLighted playing as red. Djinn plays Catan as blue, and Renats 05 as gray. Yeah, we kind of already played with the exact same players before, so we knew how we like to pick in some situations. So, do you think that has factored out in the decisions you made a bit?
Just judging off people's skill, I guess it's a very big decision factor for me. When it's like, if I know someone's less skilled, then and if I know someone's more skilled, then I'll target them for my table talk. I'm like, yo, you got to go after him. He's definitely in a strong spot. Or if there's a weaker player, they're more likely to be influenced. So I target them. I try to convince them. And I'm like, yeah, you almost have to go after him. This is the right play, right? And so since we already played one game together, I was getting like a feel for the table. I'm like, all right, this is how these guys play. I know who I should go. I know who I should table talk to control the game. So yeah.
Okay.
So
What do you think of this 9-10
yeah,
spot?
it's not good at all. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think I think this is a situation where people tunnel vision a little bit too much on ore, wheat, and sheep. Like, I mean, yes, you want the strong ore, but there's other spots for it. There's other spots for it.
Yeah. What I found
Yeah.
interesting about it is that um, that we talked in the game before that you gave the advice to okay, so like this that I how do I say that, didn't value wheat ore combinations enough, and maybe Djinn valued that decision and went for the 9-10, like he saw that as the spot he could combine it with. I would have gone for the 9-6-3 in this case, because that's still the ore. I think you gotta assume that one of these good wheat spots is still left.
Yeah, I think you could do that relatively, yeah.
Yeah. How about picking the 8-5-10 as a...
Not as third position. I think the two third position spots I'm thinking is 3-6-11 and 3-6-9. I think 3-6-9 also it's fine because 3-6-11 should be taken, but interesting thing. I think it's 3-6-9 and 3-6-11 for sure. Not the 9-10. It's just 7 points of production. Even if you get wheat ore, there's it's not worth it on this. It's just 7 points of production is just not good enough, and you're sacrificing so much more. You just allow now you allow fourth position to have so much more open room and have so much more options, and like they should not be getting certain options, but they do get it because of the 9-10 pick. This game's a holistic game. Your decision affects other people's decision or affect other people's options. So you always have to keep that in mind. It's not a one-dimensional like only you playing your game. So yeah, I disagree with the 9-10. But I think if it was blue, I'd choose 3-6-11 or 3-6-9.
Okay, then we go on to pick number 4.
Of course.
I think one thing I would like to mention about the 9-10 spot is that in this game we have like so many killer spots, like the 8-5-4, the 9-5-6 you took.
Yeah.
It doesn't like it could be a okay spot if the board was a lot less awkward. Like for example, if there was a lot less ore and the sand tile was at the crucial spot.
Yeah.
But not on this board.
Yeah. I think blue placing on the 9-10 puts a lot of pressure on me too, since I now know my settlement spots on the 9-12 is going to be contested. And I see since my 8-10 is like one of my best outs for the 5-6-9, I realize that both my spots are going to be like immediately contested. And whenever you don't have a single settlement spot, your only win condition turns into having 4 VPs, 2 knights, and then 2 cities. And that's how you win if you don't have any settlement spots. But like the thing is, you can easily lose if people get 2 VPs early. Then you just can't win anymore because you're stuck at 9 points, and there's literally no way for you to win.
Okay, so Gray just took down the 9-6-3, and he points his road towards the ports. What spots is he considering with his second settlement? The 6-11-3 for sure.
Yeah, I thought it would be the 6-11-3, or it would actually be or 6-11-3. It depends, and there's 2 6-11-3 options.
With double wheat or the one with lumber instead of wheat.
Yeah, and then there's also the this might sound weird, but I was also considering the 8-5-10 option as gray. So yes, like I was saying like how no wheat equals defeat means you're screwed, but that's there's a lot of, I guess,
exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, there's a lot of exceptions. There's a ton.
Yeah.
And I think this could be. I think you could, as gray, do something a little bit different and point your road to the 4-3 and then do 5-8-10. So just playing with playing with a bunch of road bidding, and then getting on that 4 wheat right there, or 4-9-11, and then using the 5-8-10 to try to hook and quickly build, and then using the building back to the wheat or the wood port to convert all that wood.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, especially because you lock like every player out of brick, and most players won't have lumber either. So
Yes.
you're in a really good negotiation spot.
Exactly. You have to use that really well. Like now, I gotta give me in the game before we played this, I had a game where I placed weirdly, but that I placed one of the reasons why I placed weirdly and went with no wheat was because I could lock on the break.
Yeah.
And I think I remember I got like a
8
3 for 1
10.
deal.
Oh,
Yeah,
three
I gave or it was a 3 for 2. It was like I gave like a sheep and a break, and you gave me 2 wheats and an ore, and I didn't have wheat or ore that game, so it was looking like a rough game. But that trade helped me a lot.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's true. That brought you a little bit back in the game. But
Yeah, since like if I didn't get a trade, then like I'd be sort of screwed.
Uh-huh.
So
okay, let's have a look at the second spot.
yeah, and I think Gray not placing wherever he wants to place first, and then placing the 369, you just lose a free road option, and that's really really bad. I wasn't paying attention right here, and I thought he placed on the 369 first, so that mattered a lot in my table talk.
Yeah, I can remember. So he does make sure he's quite dependent on the tree, but I do like the double up on the 6 or 6 wheat.
Yes, I agree. It's the coordinated 6s are dangerous. The coordinated 6s are dangerous. Or coordinated or wheat 6 or 8. They're very strong.
Yeah. So what are the other coordination? I think lumber brick is a good coordinated.
Yeah, wood brick. There's also wheat sheep or sheep ore. Those aren't as strong, but those are still like just coordinated, like ones that like go together really well.
What do you think is the best one? Like wheat ore or?
Yeah, for sure. Wheat ore.
Okay. Yeah, I think as well. Especially if they have like if they have like 6s or 8 or does that still consider for 9s and 5s?
For sure. I mean, it's like just having coordinated resources in general is just really nice because you can use them immediately. So right here, first of all, I wanted to say I don't know why Gray pointed his road that way. I'm not sure I agree. The sheep port, it's not really useful for them at all. Like, I mean, the 1211 is only 3 points of production, and it's not that useful. So I'm not sure if I agree with their road. And so another thing, the interesting thing in this game that I want to point out was, so we were talking, right? And I made a video on settlement placement table talk and why you should do it. So in this game, Blue was considering the 3-8-10, and I was like, and I wanted to, and as table talk, I'm like, you should place on the 5-8-10. And in my opinion, the 5-8-10 is just sort of objectively a lot better. Yeah. And the reason why I wanted to place, I like trying to table talk him to go on the 5-8-10 is because like not only is it just better, like judging off Blue's first settlement, like I already know they can't win. It's gonna be very 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 tough for them to win with that 7 points of production as their first pick. That's definitely not good enough. And so since I'm the or wheat sheep player, we're opposite win condition, and because if we're opposite win conditions, I want him to get the better wood brick, which is why I table talked on the 5-8-10. And the reason why I want him to get the better wood brick is because so he can lock up the longest road win condition, so someone can't like try to sneak road and army, since that's really dangerous. So that's why I wanted him to get the more wood brick, so he can just lock my win condition, so I won't have to worry about someone like getting longest road. Since like clearly like I'm gonna be getting the 8-10, so that's I'm not gonna really have a good shot for road. So that's why I table talked him onto the 5-8-10, and just honestly, it's just a lot better too. It's just a lot better for him.
Yeah, I thought you were table talking him out of that spot, so you could take the 8-5 with the 3-1 port. So then I figured, I thought you were trying to talk him to the 8-10-3, so he would get all resources, but I interpreted that incorrectly. Okay. So I tried to table talk him back to the 8-5-10, but now I just realized the mistake. Hey, wait! If I got
we're both telling him to go.
Another mistake. If I went with the 8-5 and the 3-1 port, that would have been quite good for me.
For sure, yeah.
So yeah, I didn't realize that at the start. I was just like, okay, if DylLighted gets this spot, this is going to be pretty difficult because he can then win his races. He would have been locked out of ore then, but the numbers would still I still think the numbers would beat the lack of ore, especially with a 3-1 port.
Really? I'm not sure if I agree in that situation. I think if I went 5-6-9 and got the 8-5, I don't think I'm good at that. I don't think I'm in a good enough spot to win. I think having high ore having ore is essential especially on a board like this, where there's just such high, there's just such. If you don't have ore on a high ore board, you just get lapped. You get lapped so quickly, and you can definitely see that with blue later in the game, since he's not on the high ore, and he'll just get lapped.
With
Also,
with lap, do you mean get blocked
fall
by
behind.
knights? Oh, fall behind. Okay.
Or just, I mean, getting lapped as in just like you just fall behind and people start like accelerating away, but you're not having as good of acceleration as other people.
Ah, okay.
I want to talk about con real quick about the 569, and whenever I quickly realized that whenever I place in the 569 that I'm like a meaty blocking target. Like the 6 looks great, 5 looks great to block, 9 looks great to block, and then when I place on the 8-10, like the 8 and 10 are both like pretty good places to block. So I already know this is gonna be a tough game, and I have to really table talk to try not to like get completely like screwed. So yeah. So I'm gonna eventually play this on the 8-10, but it's already looking like a rough situation for me, since I'm afraid that I'm not gonna get a single settlement spot on the 9-12 or the 8-10 or on the 8-3-1 port. Since if I lose both my settlement spots, which just lose both my races, then like I'm sort of screwed. That I just can't. That like my only win condition becomes to getting 4 VPs. Another thought was that like if I can quickly city up, I might be able to get a miracle road bidding and get on the 4-9-11 plus year plenty. Those are my two thoughts. I'm like, so if I can't win one of these races, that's fine. I can get a miracle road bidding and try to build on the 4-9-11. And if that fails, then I just still have to get 4 VPs. So those were my thoughts.
Uh-huh. I completely see that working. But indeed the paths you want to take these roads are really interesting. So are there any spots you considered besides the 10-8?
Not really. I mean, I considered like 10-9-2 for like a little bit, but that's definitely not good enough.
Yeah. Okay. And that would
Like,
be to go to the 6-2 eventually.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I just don't think that's good enough.
It's actually quite interesting. I was like, okay, he's probably looking at the board and then just realizing, yeah, okay, the 10-8, that's gotta be it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I went on the 5-6-9 playing with the thought that I could potentially get on the 10-8, but I think that's almost too risky of a thought.
Did you also think about where I was going to pick? Not well, of course you're going to look at that, but
Yeah.
did it like
I wasn't totally sure where you were gonna go, since you have a lot of options.
yeah,
One of I guess the dangerous thing about about Blue's road is that I don't like pointing inwards, especially when there's a free road, and you can easily get punished if you go on the 10-3, 10-3-11, and get punished.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
since your first position,
we're going to see me taking actually the 10-3-11.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of liked it because I could easily go to a really good spot like the 4-8-3 with the free road, and because I'm
totally
rolling
agree.
first, so I'm not dependent on actually rolling a 7.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about the table talk. So I was trying to table talk immediately since I wasn't paying attention very much, but I thought Gray had he started with the free red, so I was trying to table talk, saying like, dude, you gotta break the road, you gotta take the road from Gray, and it's but he actually started with the wheat sheep, which I didn't know. But whatever. I also really like the 3-10-11. Just another random thought was because you can get the 3-4-8, and then you can also get the it leaves open the 4-9-11 spot. And in my opinion, a lot of the times having more space is a lot better. Having more space is just a lot better than having like better wood break.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like whenever you have like multiple triple hex spots opened, like so in this case you have the 3-4-8 and 4-9-11. It's almost as big as getting like another city. It's whenever you city double production. So but getting the 3-4-8, it's like it's a plus 10 in production. That's basically another city.
Yeah,
it's like
I agree.
It's pretty great. So yeah.
So I considered some spots here to block. The 9 wheat, the 6 wheat. I think those were it. Maybe I considered something else as well. No,
hmm
maybe the 10 ore. No, I don't think so. Yeah. So I decided to rob you because I know like that was a pretty basic. Just because I know you were a skilled player, and well, Renats won the last game, but I think that had also a lot to do with us making it difficult for each other.
Yeah. He had a killer spot. He had the coordinated wheat sheep, or he had the coordinated sixes again, and he has it this game again also.
Yeah.
And last game I went with the no wheat, and I started with no wheat, no ore. So it was like a very big gamble. So it's Blue's turn. He rolled a 5. He's deciding where to put this road, and yeah, it's not good for me since I know that I'm most likely going to lose the 12-9 now, and I think I also see myself losing the 3-1 port, and I also start table talking here already, like I already see myself in a really bad spot, and like I try to table talk like, listen, I'm going to lose both my spots, I can't do anything, I'm sort of screwed, and like that's a really valid point, like I am sort of screwed. I think in this case, what I think the ideal situation for you would be, I become locked out of any settlement spots. I can't win since I don't get 4 VPs, and then Blue's totally screwed since I just like Blue's production is not good enough, and Gray sort of just sits with no win condition, and then you get and then while that happens, you just get red.
Yeah.
You're in a great spot to get red. So since like I'd be like the dead win condition, or I'd be the dead person who just locks up the win condition, and that's what you want.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And that's and in this case, I was trying to get Blue to be the dead player who would lock up the road win condition.
So that's also
right here.
What's also about that? Oh, I actually tried to deny the trade, like out of instance. But what's also really important is the double up on ore. Not only this 3-1 port, like we're racing for that as well, but also like trying. Otherwise, your limit is 2 ore with an 8 roll. If it gets to be at least 3, then you have a way bigger chance. Especially if I get a city on this 8-5-4, then I would get double wheat. And if I get that settlement and that at the 8 ore with the 3-1 port, then I'm able to get cities out of 2 numbers.
Yeah, you having the city on the 8-5-4 is like very, very, very strong. It makes you super strong.
So I'm trying to make a trade for sheep for ore, and I know there was a bunch of table talk going on at this point. You were trying to convince Djinn to not trade away his brick, despite him not having sheep. I actually also offered an ore.
This is a good deal for him. I think I might have taken this as him.
You did?
Well. If I was him, then I might have taken that. But if I was him, then I wouldn't end up in the situation he's in. Since like I already know that I'm sort of screwed in this spot.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it's 2 rare cards. So, but I think actually I'm not even sure. Since I if I was Blue, I also recognize that you're in a killer position. Yeah, you are in a for sure very, very strong spot. What's interesting is Blue also has a comparative advantage of the bricks. He has all the bricks to himself except for the 10 brick, and the 3 won't hit that often. So if he's gonna give bricks away, he has to like give it away at like a very high price.
Yeah, the thing is, do you consider 2 sheep and 1 ore as a high enough price? I actually should have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
like 2 sheep and an ore. That's a very good deal for Blue. But he has to consider, well, it's like 2 sheep and an ore, and you give someone else a settlement. Like, I think I'd still take that as Blue, potentially. I'm not sure if you can win, though. It's like in Blue's spot, even if I took this deal.
Okay, so Blue just rolled a 7. Where would you place it?
As Blue? Well, I wasn't really paying attention to the cards. I'm not sure what Blue has in hand, either.
A lot of bricks. There is wheat.
And there's wheat on the board.
Yeah, he's trying to build a settlement at the 9-12.
I mean, the 8 ore is also like it's a great blocking spot. 8 ore.
And also I'm sure the ore has been rolled, so he has lumber. So he's actually only looking for sheep right now.
Yeah, so just 8 ore and take from you.
Yeah, that makes sense. You would have.
Well, I do only have 2 cards, so I might actually take one myself. But something I like to say is like you always want to take away. You want to steal from win condition competitor. So in this case, I might steal from you because you're Blue's win condition competitor, and like I'm clearly the or wheat sheep player. So yeah, I don't agree with the 6 or block when you can just you can block 2 people and block twice as much by putting on the 8.
I can remember this. You table talked them into blocking the 6 or.
Oh yeah. Oh well. I mean, of course, I'm not gonna table talk it to block it on my own 8 or. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I got that.
It's actually interesting, especially since Gray already had a knight. He picked up an ore from me, so I'm okay. Yeah, I tried to offer a development card for the brick, Djinn.
Yeah, that's a extremely good deal for Blue. Like, I would say yes to this for Blue. I don't know why he snapped no to this deal. I was very surprised he did say no. I thought you were offering it as like a joke at first.
Oh.
I like half thought that like is this like a serious trade?
No, I figured that if I get the 843,
it's very big. Yeah, it's like getting a city.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I understand why you want to do that. I mean, I don't care that Blue cut me off. I thought he was just doing a defensive road at first, but then he goes ahead and does that move. I was like, what? I mean, getting cut off sucks. Like, but losing the 9-12 is just. I mean, I thought I was gonna lose that spot anyways, and I guess I'm pretty happy with that Gray gets cut off also. But like using all those roads, the 12-11 doesn't help you with anything. The 9-12 can sort of help.
I just not really, right?
Yeah, a little, but not really.
Yeah, I thought he would. Not really. I thought he would go to another spot. Like actually, if you use he used 3 roads on this turn, he would have been able to go to either. Well, I think he was actually able to go to the 4-8 as well.
That's you could go in the 4-8, or you can go or 9-10 too. Both are great spots.
Yeah, I think the 9-2 makes a lot of sense, especially because you are quite close to the 6-2 or, and you like a bit of or.
Of course. Of course, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Okay, another 6.
So yeah, there's a coordinated 6s by Grays. I always emphasize keeping track of cards, since I think that opens up that helps you become a way better player if you know what everyone has, and you can it helps you with trades, it helps you with table talk, it helps you just being like way more aware of what's going on, and like I always see like right here I think in game I was table talking and saying like, dude, he has a city in hand, like he's scary, and the coordinated 6s they become deadly, and they really are. Coordinated 6s are deadly.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, especially if they roll well. If they only roll average, then they are already dangerous. But if they roll more than average, then you're in a really good spot.
You're in a sort of like you're very very you're very very set. So you get your settlement on the 3-4-8, and that's it doesn't look that strong, but like no, that's like a +10 in production. So I recognize that like this is really bad, especially since now you have so much wood. Like I know your next target's gonna be on the 3-1 port, so I'm like, this is looking like a not super good situation for me.
Yeah. So who do you think is in the best situation right now? Because I just also built the settlement at the 8-3-4.
I think you're in a pretty good spot. Yeah, I think you're in a very good spot. And I think the issue with Gray's spot is he needs to actually get on the wood port. As Gray, I think I'd want to get on the wood port and start converting all that wood to sheep. That's what I would do at least.
Yeah. So what's interesting here is I try to snatch the spot you're eyeing. And I'm targeting Blue again for the trade. Yeah. So I needed to get the lumber to get the road and the settlement. So I could theoretically lose 2 ore and the sheep.
Yep. And I think in this turn also I was really trying to table talk and discourage this trade. I was like, it doesn't make sense, Blue. It doesn't make sense. And I don't think this trade does go through, luckily, since I know that he's trying to save up for the city, and you need the 2 wheats or he needs the 2 wheats for the city, but you need the wheat to build. And because I knew you're trying to trade for the wood, I'm like, yeah, that's I knew that you're gonna go for this spot too. I was like, oh no, he's trying to do road settlement, road settlement, and I'm gonna be locked.
Do you think, because that's kind of interesting, do you think I should have tried to get the lumber? Yeah, I couldn't really tell what resources you had at this moment in time. I think you had neither brick nor lumber.
Yeah, I'm on all wood sheep, so I have no wood or brick.
Yeah.
I think so. So I think for sure what I done or what I would have done differently on my turn was, well, first off, I think there's a turn earlier you identified where I didn't have a knight at all, since I have 2 development cards and I didn't move it. That should be like a big red flag. Like, what the hell does he have?
Yeah.
And I think since 4 of those dev cards are road biddings or road biddings, a year of plenty, is like, yeah, you should, yeah, like it's very dangerous. That it's like it should be sending red flags that I'm gonna I have an out to steal that spot. So I think what I might have done in your position is like, all right, man, you're gonna do this trade with me, or I have a knight and I'm just gonna take it forcefully, and you know, like I'm willing to give you a really good deal for this trade, or I just will have to do it by force.
Okay, that's really
and
interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people will just like will crack under that pressure. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people will crack under that pressure. Like, I have a knight. Like, I mean, do you want me to play it or not? Or do you, like, I will move it off you and I'll take it from someone else completely, or I'll put it right on you somewhere that really hurts. And yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on the person to make a trade.
Yeah. So looking at the details, do you offer the trade first, or do you force it then? And what do you say if you like try to force them to trade with the knight threaten?
I mean, just like try to do it nicely, of course. Just like, you know, like I can give you like a pretty good deal. Like, I know you need the rare sheep to build, right? I can give you sheep for your wood, and you're on 8 wood. Or I mean, yeah, that's what you're looking for, sheep for wood. And like, you know, the sheep's rare for you, wood's common for you. This is a good deal. And and if they still say no, like, all right, I'll throw in an extra card. And if they still say no, like all right, I like, this is the best deal I can give you. Like, there's no more. And they still no, say to like, listen, you're gonna take the deal, or I'm gonna just do it forcefully. I'm already being really nice. Like, so, like, slowly increase it. Slowly increase it.
Okay. So is there also a merit to like pretending you have a knight, but you actually have a victory point, for example? So
I mean, you can do that, but
yeah.
It just makes you look like full of crap. I mean, so if someone did that to me, or someone did that to another player at the same table, I'd use that against them. Like, dude, you can't trust him. He's lying. You can't trust him. He's lying. And I try to like discourage trades like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, personally, I try not to do that. Just like I don't like just like blatantly lying, since, I mean, you're also playing with humans too, you know. So it doesn't always feel good just to like blatantly lie. But I mean, you can always bluff a knight.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've done that before. I've done that before, and it is part of the game. So it's like whatever floats your boat. So go ahead and build the road, and end your turn.
Yeah. So this 3-1 port is really important for us.
It's very important. Whoever gets this port it's very, very big, and it's really important because it's like, I know that you need the 3-for-1 port so you can convert all your wood to whatever you need, and I need this 3-for-1 port just as a 3rd settlement spot. Yeah. And if I start becoming a dead player if I can't get this spot.
Exactly, and also because of the double up on ore.
Yes.
So you are offering the trade here, and
yes, so
this is a pivotal
I think it's very
turn
important.
in the game.
This is a pivotal turn inside the game. So I want to talk a little bit about this trade right here. So first of all, the reason why I was able to do the trade is because, like, I always emphasize, you need to keep track of people's cards. You need to track people's cards. Like, if I knew I was directing this trade at blue, since I knew he had I knew that he could afford a trade like this, and I knew that he was also trying to save our city. So I'm like, all right, I'll give you city materials if you can give me road materials. And that's like a pretty equal deal, except for the fact that he's a dead player, and we're opposite win conditions. So, and I knew that this is a very big deal since I had a year of plenty, and this completes my set, and I can like take a huge side relief if I get the spot. So, I completed my set, and I was really excited for that.
Yeah. So for you recognizing that he is a dead player, despite. That's actually a mistake a lot of players make. Actually, the victory points at the start, they don't mean that much. It's more about the resource gain players gain over the course of the well, over the
Yeah.
course of the turns, because over the course of the game, like if we compare, for example, Gray and Blue at this point, Blue actually has more victory points, but Gray over the course of the game takes way more resources because he has 3 points of resource gain, like a city for 2 and a settlement for 1. And it's also because Blue is settled on 5 tiles, and because Gray is settled on 6 tiles.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just think Blue's path to victory is extremely hard. They have a very tough time winning.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah,
Year of Plenty
yeah,
goes down.
the Year of Plenty, and that's a perfect settlement. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, that went perfectly.
If I didn't get that trade, then there's a high chance you get the settlement on your turn. Since with you being the 4, 11, and 8, and you got it on your turn, you got it on the next turn. So I was like, this is a do or die moment. This determines it. Since I thought, in my opinion, if you got the 8 ore spot, then then you just be set to win. Like you are the new like. I don't know. I just sort of think you win. And you start off with like 3 settlement spots essentially, since you have the 3, 10, 11, 3, 4, 8, and a 5, 4, 5, 4, 8. And you produce so much, and you're set up for road or army or whatever the hell you want, and you have a port for consistency, and you're like hard to block. So I thought that like I have to get this trade, otherwise you just straight up win the game. So I got the trade, and that's a I'm very fortunate of that.
So what's interesting here is I know I know my thoughts about this. I had possibilities to go for a city right now, but I could also go to the 4, 9, 11 with settlement. I decided to go for the city as the most important step to take now, because the 8, 4, 5 is just such a killer spot with really great resources.
Such a good spot. It's an amazing spot for you. It's super good. And right here, I think I was trying to table talk. Like you also more on tracking cards. Like I know that I gave Blue 1 wheat, and I know he's looking for a 2nd wheat since that gives him a city. So of course I'm gonna start table talk. Like you can't give him a wheat since he's gonna get a city. You want Blue to get a city. But I think that might have been actually a mistake. I think I maybe should have table talked Blue into like getting a city on the 5, 8, 10. And it's weird since it's almost weird that I want to get him to the city, because I need him to lock red, and I don't think he can win. So maybe it was better to actually like try to like encourage him to get a city instead of discouraging this trade. so maybe I screwed up right there.
Yeah.
Okay. I highly disagree with his move right there. For winning all his ore for a single sheep. I don't think that's right. I disagree with that. It's when you have save up 4 ore, it's too. You just use it for a city. It's just better production.
Yeah, and he had one wheat in hand, so actually, maybe
I don't think that's the right move right there.
Yeah, maybe he could have done like a really expensive trade and actually get the city.
Yeah, I think he totally could have done something like that, for sure.
So
Blue's and Gray has another city, and that's very, very, very terrible. So now I recognize that Gray is table talking, like saying like Gray's gonna be deadly once they upgrade and get like multiple upgrades on the 6, 11, 3 and 6, 9, 3. And it's the truth. Like, dude, like Gray is so scary. He's like coin into 6s. But something else I realized as Gray is that you're right. He's so dependent on the 3s rolling. Like you can have as much ore and wheat as you want, but if you already have 2 cities, like the ore and wheat becomes useless cards. Like you need the sheep to go with it. So I think for us in this case, we can't trade him sheep, since that just allows him to buy dev cards, which get them closer to his game.
Yeah, so. What's also relevant is the wheat board next to his 693 spot.
I don't think I think it's a trap. Going towards a wheat port looks good, right? Or it looks good on the surface, because like you have what 10, 14 points of wheat, and like it looks amazing, and you're gonna go on the wheat port, and you can convert all those points of wheat to the things you need. But you have to look at it like this, like, all right, so just people. This is a dev card game. Like a lot of people are gonna have dev cards, and like everyone's gonna be like, look at the good blocking target. It's completely the 6 wheat. and this happens later inside the game. But everyone's gonna be blocking the 6 wheat, and I think. But the thing is, since only you're on the 9 wood by yourself, and it's just you on the 9 wood, it becomes a way weaker blocking target.
Ah, that's really interesting.
And because of that, I think I would just go double up on the 6 ore and go on the wood port instead, and convert the wood to the sheep you need.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
just by going on the wheat port, everyone just like tunnel visions on the 6 wheat even more. It just makes it an even bigger blocking target. And the 11's not. It's like 11 wheat's like it's still wheat production, but it's it's like you're severely cut off.
Yeah. What I also think is that the wheat and the ore spot board, I mean, are a lot worse than the lumber and brick, and I think sheep is kind of in the middle of that, because in the later parts of the game you're trying to get cities, get development cards as the last points for your victory, and maybe it's less of the case for Gray right now, because he has already 2 cities and he is very easily able to get more.
Yeah.
But that's my general rule of thumb. So I don't value wheat and ore boards even close to the amount I value lumber and brick boards.
I agree. Like using ore ports and wheat ports always feel awkward, since you need the wheat to to do stuff with it. So yeah, I agree with you.
Okay. So 12 rolled. So Djinn blue takes the first
He gets a
of
sheep,
the game.
one of the rare sheeps. And right here, I once again, I know that you're trying to save up for the city, so I'm gonna really try my best to discourage it. And right here, I also know that you have 3 sheep in hand, so you're gonna trade for the sheep, and I'm gonna also discourage it. Like now he's gonna forfeit 1 for the sheep right here. I'm trying to discourage this trade, since like when we're at like so low cards, where like I have 1 card, the Djinn has 3 cards, Renats has like 1 card. It doesn't make sense to do a trade. We're just giving you a city, and we get 1 card. It doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because I figured at this moment in time there was no ore in the game, so I tried to go all in for the sheep.
Yeah.
And what I'm actually trying to do is like the first time I offer a brick and then a lumber, and then I offer 2 lumber. So it doubles up. Like I'm actually improving my offer so much, but overall I don't really care about the road I'm giving away. So what do you think about this road? Should I have built it, or should I have kept with the 9 resources in hand?
I don't think you should. I think building the road is fine, but I think I might have right there just started to buy dev cards instead, and it's really weird, since I think I might have just bought dev cards inside. So like I understand how you're super strong if you get the city on the 584, but like no one's bought any dev cards yet, and just if you can keep the 6 wheat pinned down, which is what you should do, I think you can just easily outpace me eventually.
Okay,
in terms of dev cards.
Okay, I figured at that moment in time, like, okay, DylLighted is gonna get the biggest army. Maybe I should have, but I think at that point, okay, this is not my win condition. My win condition is getting the longest
road. I mean, it makes sense. I think what you play is not bad. I think for me, like, I also like to. It just buying dev cards helps you like table talk a lot more too. It just like if you have knights there, it's really easy. It's fine. And you already have 1 knight, and I think just buying 2 would just help you so much. But you maybe you're right. Maybe holding for the city right there was fine. I think that's a close decision. But I think personally, I would have just bought the dev cards.
Would you still build the road if you went for the dev cards?
Yeah, why not? I think another road you consider is building a road just to the 4911.
Yeah. Okay. So I actually got punished for not buying dev cards. So I had to hand in 3 sheep and a lumber. I kept 3 wheat because it maximized the odds. Yeah. And also because if players will rob me, they have a 60% chance of not robbing an impactful resource for the city.
Yeah. But I think the detriment or the con of that thing is that they should be blocking the 8 ore, and that just disables you from getting cities.
Yeah, and that's indeed really difficult about that.
Yeah. So I think I'm table talking blue again, and he I think successfully table talked onto gray.
This is like really interesting, and we said that in the chat. Like you were trying to table talk into the 6 ore, and you also mentioned I don't even mind if my 6 wheat is blocked. Or maybe that was later in the game, but I'm quite sure that was this situation. But he went for the 9 lumber.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree with that. Like, there's a lot of better spots to block than that. Like, yeah. If anything, you'd want to block it at 6 wheat, since that's just pitting 2 players, and why not?
Yeah, I think the reasoning for this could be that he's trying to get roads as his next purchase. It could also be development cards, but if you're looking at cities and settlements, it's a road.
Yeah.
So then it could actually be, but then the wheat block still makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I just think blocking the wheat makes a little bit more sense right here. But the reason why I didn't mind if my 6 wheat gets blocked is because I still have the 9 wheat open. I still have a very good consistent wheat source, and it just hurts gray a lot more.
Yeah,
I mean, I love more cards in general, but yeah.
Take one for the team.
Yeah, I just take one for the team.
Yeah. Okay.
And I thought I thought it was gonna be blocked, but of course I'll be happy if it's not blocked at all. It's just even better.
Yeah. So gray also rolled a 7. What do you think he should block?
I mean, the 8 ore just makes the most sense. And I think I'm talking, so I'm not keeping track of my own cards. But you should definitely keep track of what my one card is, or just keeping track of what everyone has.
I think
the 8 ore is just maybe, and he takes from you, which I think is probably the right decision, since you're in a very strong spot. You're in a very, very good spot.
I figured it was a sheep. I used my knight and I tracked back what resource that was, and I think it was a sheep.
Okay.
Might see it on screen right now.
Yeah, I think it was a sheep. It was a sheep. Personally, I hate looking at the game logs.
DylLighted sheep.
Okay, yeah.
But you hate looking at the game logs? Why?
Well, I don't hate looking at it. I used to do it all the time, but I'm not hate it, but I'm trying to get in the practice of not doing it because
you want to remember it,
because I want to remember it
for tournament games.
Yeah, because in tournaments, I'm not going to be able to look at a game log. I mean, that'd be awesome if I could get a game log in tournament, but I just gotta memorize the resources, just because if you just know what's going on, it just helps you. You're just so much more aware.
Yeah,
I remember there's an argument between some top players, is it worth the mental energy to track every single card? And my response to that, or my personal response to that, is totally. You don't have to use so much mental energy tracking every single card. You just track the important cards and know what's out there generally. Who cares if you have their entire hand? Just know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and know how far they are in that process. And what I also would like to note on that is that I think you get the more you practice it, it becomes easier over time.
Exactly. Yes, it's a lot less mental energy. I don't have to think super duper hard. What does he have? What does he have? What does he have? Because if I do that, that impacts my table talk also.
Yeah.
So,
you can make so many great decisions based on that.
On the
table talk.
It helps your decision making a lot more. It helps you blocking other people a lot more. And right here, I was trying to discourage this trade so badly, but it just went through. And the reason this trade doesn't help it doesn't help gray at all. You just give him a city for 2 cards. Who cares? You gave him a city. Does this the golden rule of trading is, does this trade help you more, or does this trade help you more, or does it help the other person more? In this case, it helps you so much more than it helps gray. Not only did they just put themselves over just 8 cards, they just gave you a city on the 8/5/4, and that's absolutely killer. That's such a good spot. I don't know. I think that was not a very good trade by Gray. Like he wasn't like I was trying to tell people like listen, you're trying to save up for a city. You're trying to save up for a city.
Yeah,
But
you told that like 3 orbits.
Yeah, I told that like over and over again, but you still made that trade. I was like, what? And I don't think I'd ever do that trade in Gray's spot right there. It's not good enough.
Yeah, I agree.
And that trade went through like really quickly too. I was like, no. Something about the Catan universe is like versus in real life is like you get to see the public, you get to see the trade, but in real life sometimes it just people hand out the card and they just do like a quick swipe, and I was like, shoot.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, in Catan universe, you know what trades are going on, so it's a lot easier to like say like this is why you shouldn't do this deal. This is why it's a bad idea. So yeah, who do you guys think will win?
Yeah, that's actually quite interesting. We see that I am at 4 points of resource gain and just got my city at 854.
Yeah.
Gray also, especially with 11 resources in hand and all the resource gain of the world with the coordinated sixes.
Yeah.
DylLighted got the 8 ore with the Treat-1 port, so he still has a great chance of taking this game with the development cards he has. And Djinn, well, he has the most amount of resources and he is the holder of the longest road. Yeah, like we said, we don't think he will win, but he still plays a very important role in this game with the longest road and with the hold of double brick. So thank you for watching till this point in time, and we'll upload the other version soon as well.